Are you ready to move your career forward? Make your comeback with Purdue Global and get college credit for your work, school, life, or military experiences. With these credits, you may have already completed up to 75% of your undergraduate degree. You've worked hard to get where you are. It's time to get the recognition you deserve and earn a degree you'll be proud of, one that employers will trust and respect. When you take the next step in your life and career, make it count with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
No one likes to talk about money. Am I saving enough? Can I buy a house? Am I paying too much in taxes? Will I be able to retire? What if you could unlock insights about your finances in less than 5 minutes with a clear picture of where you stand today and where your money can work harder? Now you can. Visit facet.com to take the free quiz and get your financial wellness score today. That's FACET.com. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth Incorporated is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice.
Dive into the exciting world of Rome Luggage, where your luggage echoes your personality. Pick your colors, from the shells to the zippers, wheels, and more. Then, using only the best quality materials, our workshop in the U.S. will build your bag. And we are so sure you'll love it. We offer a 100-day free trial and a lifetime warranty. Head to RomeLuggage.com and don't forget to use code Journey50 for $50 off. Oh, and grab 2 or more bags, including our backpack totes and duffels, and an extra 10% discount is yours. No code required.
Hi everyone, it's Amanda Rieger Green with Soul Sessions. Today we have an exciting episode. I've got a guest with me, Emily Curl from iHeartRadio. She's iHeartRadio's digital and social host. Emily is a music and entertainment expert who interviews artists and covers exclusive live backstage and red carpet moments at iHeart events. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here chatting with you, and I did love that intro, so thank you for that.
You are welcome. And Emily has this amazing background, but she also has her iHeart promo material in the back there. So shout out to iHeartRadio and iHeartMedia.
And this is so fun because I've seen you with so many of other iHeart, coworkers and colleagues that you've got to do these. And that's originally how I found you. So I'm so excited that we got to connect and be here together. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Me too. Thank you for coming on and your vulnerability and also your openness and your energy. I can feel your excitement. And I always tell people, excited, a little bit nervous, excited, nervous. That's my favorite point of entry because there's that curiosity. And I'm going to go ahead and start because your soul is already saying, get out of the way, Amanda, and let us deliver messages. One of your greatest gifts is making people feel comfortable, inspired, and encouraged. So not only do they feel safe and connected to you very rapidly, they also feel a sense of inspiration or motivation. And you have that gift within you. And where that can be a challenge, apart from it being draining at times because you give so much, it can also be a challenge because you don't always find the enthusiasm from within. It's not that you don't love to inspire people or connect or communicate or motivate, but it's like when you're sitting home alone, when do I feel inspired? When do I feel enthusiastic? When do I feel motivated? What uplifts me? Who uplifts me? Those are big questions, especially this year. This year is kind of a research and development year. It's a year of connecting and communicating, but really recognizing when you enjoy interactions and they feel synergistic versus when you come out of it depleted. And another thing that you and I have very much in common is something I like to call emotional whiplash. We don't always feel in the moment. You and I jump in, we interact, we communicate, we're go, go, go. And then, an hour later, 30 minutes later, it can be like, oh my gosh, I'm drained. Or, oh my gosh, did that person just say that to me? Does that make sense?
Yes. I have so many, it's like, an emotional hangover where later I'm like, wow. Yes. And then it can process for me.
And I think a lot of people relate to the emotional hangover, but you operate at such a high level of interaction that sometimes it's being able to really step back and say, well, I don't know about that. And I'm not talking about in work, in your interviews, but when you're engaging with people close to you or in your personal life, being able to really slow yourself down and be present. And one of the things that I've been doing recently, and this is what they're reflecting back to me is, and I can always be thinking about myself and my own thoughts, but sometimes I will, if I'm picking up the phone to call someone, a friend who I haven't talked to, a family member, somebody I'm making intentional time for, I almost set the intention beforehand. Amanda, be present. Amanda, listen. No, don't only listen with those two ears, listen with your heart. Listen to what they're saying. Be present for them. Be intentional with your time. And that's one of the things this year that will heal some overwhelm, because you've got a lot of things going on, opportunities, work, personal life, social life. There is a lot happening, and it can feel, back to the feelings, it can feel overwhelming and daunting. And then you can get into fear. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be enough. Or when I'm successful at this, because you're determined to be successful. You're a very determined individual. I mean, you know this about you.
You're reading me like a book. This is wild.
I can see it, and I'm smiling because we have a lot of similarities and you're competitive, but you're competitive with yourself. Me too, raising my hand. And it's not that I don't like some good, healthy competition, but I'm always saying, okay, well, what's next? Okay, I've achieved that. What's next? Or I didn't quite achieve that. Let me do it better. And then what's next after that? And there's that mentality of sometimes forgetting to enjoy the journey, which this year is about slowing down a little bit, even though it's very fast paced, and really saying, what interactions feel truly personal to me or truly intentional, and what do I love about this interaction? Not so much about the person or yourself, but what is it about the interaction that feels good, feels safe, feels whole? And those are really important things. Something else about you that is a piece of you that you don't show necessarily to the world. You have an intelligence to you that is sometimes very quirky, unique, and outside the box. You have ideas and thoughts, and you love to research, to figure things out. And sometimes it's like, if I share this, somebody's going to think I'm weird. I may as well just know it and understand it and figure it out myself. And so you don't always expose your quirky uniqueness to some people. And you're very particular about who you let in.
All of this is so spot on. I have no words right now. I'm really so struck by this.
And you have a lot of words. We already know this
and
about
I'm never
you,
not
like
talking. So this is really unique.
Well, I mean, even like when you were younger, and you are not a loner, but you're kind of a loner. Like nobody would be like, oh yeah, Emily's a loner. You are a loner. I mean, at your core, it's like, I love my alone time, my space. And if I'm going to really let you into that personal part of me, you've got to be able to give me my space and get me, and then know when I'm on to the next thing, the next idea, and not take those things personally. And interdependence is probably the healthiest word that is coming through that I also know for that. It's like you've got fierce independence, fierce codependence, and so interdependence. Relationships that feel they can stand on their own, but there's also the intimacy, the connection, meeting in the middle, but yet you don't want to have to babysit anyone or and it's not that you're not compassionate, because you are, but you get emotionally drained and you're very energetically receptive. So you almost have to have people that really know who they are, their own uniqueness, and have a thicker outer skin so you don't feel like oh, I'm sorry, I had to cancel, or people who just understand the maturity of life, let's call it.
1000%. And it's interesting you say that, because I love meeting friends. I love like talking to people. Like I spend so much of my day interacting with new friends too, and I really enjoy that. But I really have a very close, tight-knit group that I let into like myself personally, that understands the kind of world that I'm in, because it is very particular. And so I am like really, really sacred about the people that really, truly, deeply know me on a level.
And that is innately who you are. And when you connect out in the world with people, it's real. It's authentic. You're very authentic in those connections. But one of the things that you love the most is I don't have to take them home with me. It's not that you wouldn't want to be friends with them or connect, but it's like, okay, good. I interacted. I got a lot of mojo from that. I gave a lot of mojo, but I get to go home and have my space and text back, text somebody if I want to, or not text. And that's important to you, is having that balance.
Yes.
And that is really helpful in work for you. And I want to go back to childhood for a minute, because they're talking about, where are you from?
I grew up in Georgia. My parents actually got married in the house that we all lived in. I really developed my really close core group of friends in college that are still my best friends that I really trust. But that was always a big struggle for me is in high school, I think for a long time, I was just unsure of who I wanted to be. And, and I was still figuring out myself and I just wanted to fit in so badly. And so I definitely had friends, but it ended up not being what I thought it was. And so those were not the lifelong friends that I thought I was going to have. So those came later in life. I think that's also another layer of why I keep my friends so sacred because that's such an important thing to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't always have that. So I really appreciate now having such good close friends.
Well, and there's that element of kind of back in growing up and in high school and I'm going to go back to this solitary or loner element of you. You have always been able to be in the world and dance to the beat of whatever drum or environment is presented to you. But it's like you felt like a fish out of water. And it's not, again, it's not that you weren't authentic, but it was like once you were able to go away to college, and I resonate with this, and I think a lot of people will, that you were able to say, oh, like, who are the people that I really do get? And I can feel free to be myself. And freedom is a huge cornerstone of your energy field. Freedom in the world, in your ability to move around the cabin. That's the way, the captain has turned the fasten seatbelt sign off. We're free to move about the cabin. So it's that sense of freedom and flexibility. But you're an adventure seeker. You are always looking to boost and to grow. And the other thing that they're showing me is, you're very strong-willed and confident and bold in your interactions. You can also be very blunt, by the way. And that's another thing with friends. If they don't get that you're kind of cut and dry, and you can be impatient as all get out.
Totally.
Like that is not lost on me. And so sometimes you come across as curt. And again, it's not that you're not being kind. It's that you've already moved on. You thought about something, you said it, and then boom, you got the answer and you've moved on. And if somebody wants to talk about it, you're like, oh, wait, didn't we already talk about that?
Yeah, like it's already addressed. That's done.
It's already addressed.
We're moving.
But we're moving on to the next thing. So there's this resiliency about you. And another thing for you, and it's been since you were younger, not a sense of urgency, but it's kind of like time is money for you. You're not a time waster and you don't appreciate time wasters. So lollygaggers, people who aren't jumping in, doing their part, suiting up and showing up. And when they do, it's like, I don't have time for that. I'm going to do it myself or find somebody better who can, because you're very resourceful, by the way, and you will move on fast. You will move on. You're like, I don't have time for that. Okay, I'm going to move on. Who else can help me with this? Or I'm just going to do it myself.
Totally. It is my biggest pet peeve to waste any of my time. You're right. It's like, if I'm not I don't do anything for fun. Or I do it for fun, but I'm like, I need to accomplish a task while I do it. If I'm going on a walk, I'm going to go pick up a package. If I'm doing this, I'm going to run an errand, or I'm going to create an idea or something. It's like, it always, comes off to the next.
It's churning. And one of the things too, and this is really important from 2023 to 2024, this year is fast paced. There's no way around it. And I've had multiple clients recently who they just wish they were in your shoes because they're in really slow paced seasons of life. You're not. It is a year that is fast. So it is imperative that you take time to step back and say, what is my motive behind this? Do I really want to do this? Is my heart in it? Am I excited about it? Or am I doing it to keep busy because I'm afraid if I slow down, I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough. And they're talking to me about worthiness. And I'm going to tell you something really funny, because before we got on the call, this hit me and I smiled. I said to someone, this has been years ago, we were talking about worthiness and being enough or feeling enough. And I said, yeah, I struggled with that. And she says, I didn't struggle with that as much as I struggle with being too much. And you teeter between the two. Am I enough or am I too much? And your gift in this lifetime and this year is saying, where do I feel just right? It's like Goldilocks or whatever, or the Three Bears, it's just right. Like, where do I feel not less than, not too much? Because you're a tall glass of water. You have a lot of energy, a lot of life to you, and some people cannot sustain that.
Yeah. And
it has nothing to do with your heart or your talents. It's just that some people do not operate at the level you do, but finding things, environments, work that really feel like the right fit, where you're not reaching too far or too far into the lack cup or in the past. So your consciousness, an abundance mindset that also feels peaceful And this is huge. Abundance and peace simultaneously. I want to feel not just enough, I want to feel more than enough. My cup runneth over, but I also want a peace, an ease, a flow. And that is between 2023 and 2024. It is all about finding a new kind of foundation or balance where you feel like everything has its place. And this year, it may be like you put too many ornaments on your tree. You know how we have those years where we decorate the tree and it's just totally overloaded, and other years we're more minimalistic, depending on your Christmas tree. But
right. Even in my apartment, it's like everything is overdone. I'm maximalist to the full right now. But I go through the back and forth, yeah.
Yes, it goes back and forth, and that's what they're showing me about you. They're giving me the Christmas tree analogy, which I don't think they've ever given me before, but it makes a lot of sense. But this is the year where it's like, just put everything out there, get it all, and it may feel a little cluttered because next year is about streamlining. You're going to know, oh, that's too much. That feels cluttered, or this friendship, this relationship is draining the heck out of me, or it is taking so much of my time. And when this person texts or when this person reaches out, I'm feeling like, oh gosh, when am I going to make time for them? And you don't want to feel that way in your heart. You want things to feel balanced, and you want that sense of feeling enthusiastic in all that you do. And it doesn't mean we feel enthusiastic all the time. Right, certainly, we are human beings and we cycle through phases, but enthusiasm from the inside out, empowerment versus feeling like you're giving and not really feeling seen or received, and significance, feeling significant. Have I made my mark on the world? Am I making an impact? Is my voice making an impact? And I'm going to share something with you that is coming through, and this is on an evolutionary soul level for you.
Ready to take your travel style to a whole new level? With Roam, it's all about personalizing your journey. You get to choose the colors of your bag, from the shells to the zippers to the lining and more. And our expert team of hand craftsmen build it for you. With our 100-day free trial and lifetime warranty, it's a no-brainer. Visit RoamLuggage.com today and use code JOURNEY50 for $50 off. And here's a bonus. When you buy 2 or more bags, you'll automatically enjoy a 10% discount. No code needed. Start your design today at RoamLuggage.com.
He'll forget about the video game you gave him on his birthday.
Wow! Thanks, Grandpa!
But he'll never forget how you invested in his future with the UNest app.
Wow. Thanks, Grandpa.
Don't just give them any gift. Give them a gift that can grow with them. Invite grandparents and family friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNest app. UNest is an investment account for kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, their first home, and more, just by sharing a link. Or include a UNest QR code on party invitations for birthdays and holidays. For a limited time, download the UNest app and use the code iHeart50 at sign-up to receive a $50 bonus when you fund your account. That's code iHeart50 when you sign up at unest.co for a $50 bonus. See terms and conditions at unest.co.
CuriosityStream is the streaming service for people who want to know more about our world and beyond. CuriosityStream has the best collection of documentary films and TV shows. And now check out Curiosity's new series, The Real Wild West. Rolling Stone magazine says it's the history of the West they usually don't teach you.
The mythology of the West left out a lot of the people.
The American West is far more different, far more diverse.
People say they've never seen a black cowboy. Well, we've been there, we've been doing it.
I never really learned about the Hispanic, Mexican aspect of the story.
This is the history book, but did you know about these other facts?
Watch The Real Wild West now on CuriosityStream. Just go to curiositystream.com to sign up or download the app now. With new titles dropping every week, you'll never run out of things to watch. And with monthly, annual, and bundled pricing plans, it's easy to find one that works for you and your budget. Go to curiositystream.com to satisfy your curiosity and sign up today.
You have a humanitarian soul, meaning you want to make the world a better place, and you want it to make an impact and leave a legacy that when you are gone, whatever you have done adds value. So there are components to you that want to contribute, but not just in your personal relationships, in your work, on a larger scale. And that is just beginning to formulate within you. Is that resonating?
It does. I think often like I've really gotten into like content creation and making things for my platform, and thinking about that. I was thinking about, what's my why? And I think going back to like me being like a younger kid wanting to fit in so desperately is like now feeling so confident in where I am and feeling like I finally found my footing. My why is I want to make other people just not feel alone, not feel like they don't have a place to fit in, or like that someone's taking care of them and watching out for them. And like, I want to be that person. So oftentimes when I create content, I look through a lens of like, what's going to make someone else feel less alone, that they're a part of the club, that I picked them first for my team, all of those things. Like I really take that to heart because I really wanted that when I was younger. And so now I'm like, okay, how can I give that back in just a small way in content creation? So that's something I've been thinking about a lot.
Well, and there's that element of the humanitarian, but also inclusivity. Helping, environments that feel inclusive. And that's really important. And as far as work goes, your work is evolving and your voice is evolving. And your voice is so important right now. So I love that you just shared that, because people listen to you when you talk. And that is a God-given gift, Emily, by the way. You cannot, and I'm laughing about this, I know exactly what they're talking about. You can go in a convenience store and you're going to be seen. And I don't care if you've got a hoodie on and glasses and you're going in to get some candy and a Diet Coke because it's a Saturday and you're just like, I gotta have my space and time. The clerk is going to notice you and engage you in dialogue. You do not go incognito or unnoticed in life. Does that make sense?
I mean, I love that. I'll take it.
People notice you and engage you. And sometimes it's like, I need to you want to have things that are sacred in your time. Back to those friendships. Does that resonate though?
It does. And I'm very aware that every interaction is like all part of like a greater, larger purpose. So I really try and be present, even if it's like going to, I'm about to go get something tailored. I love my tailor. Her name's Young. Young and I have a full dialogue every single time I'm there. Yeah. I have my same, I go to a facialist every, once a month, and I saw her yesterday. It's like, I like having the little community. I like making friends. I like having positive interactions, not just for the sake of like talking to that person or helping their days better, but it makes my day better. It's like, I really enjoy the energy flow. I enjoy meeting new people, and I like having those small little moments. So that's interesting that you said that, because am very particular about making sure that like I do have those interactions on a daily basis.
Yeah. And, it makes sense because, again, back to when do you feel enthusiastic or inspired? It's when you have very personal, private moments with people that feel very sacred in yours, and they're not on a public platform. I get these enriching connections and I feel alive. And that is a huge part. I mean, all of us want to feel alive and engaged, but a huge part of your soul's development, apart from making an impact, is really feeling alive and present to life. And you love to travel. Lord have mercy, do you like to travel? They just said you love having things to look forward to, but when you are able to be in new environments, travel for work, I know that is something that you love, because you get to go away, you get to engage, and then you get to come back home. And there's that balance between having something to look forward to, and new environments invigorate your creativity and also your intuition. Your intuition is usually very high yes, it can be in work and in conversations, but when you travel or when you're in an unfamiliar setting, when you're thrown into an environment that's new to you, that is probably when you're most on point, you're most present, and you're most creative in unfamiliar scenarios. And it's not that you're not prepared, but you do really well when you're thrown into something and you almost improv. But it's not improv, it's just how to almost open up, and it's really channeling, actually, is what it is.
I always love a good challenge too. So I think is something exciting about going somewhere I've never been, doing it by myself. Because I grew up, I'm one of 4 children. I have 3 siblings. So like, I feel like I always had a buddy or always had a friend. I was always really close to my friends in college. But it's been nice as an adult to rediscover, I can do this by myself, or this is an exciting time for me, or even if I'm going on a work trip with all my colleagues, like even just the little moments in between of just, being myself, I feel like it's a good growth opportunity for me. So I always try and embrace that. I also love change too. So I think that's another big.
You do. And, it's funny. Not everyone loves change. And not only do you love change, you thrive on it. And also even deeper than that, it's more about evolution for you. It's because change equals growth for you. And you know that. Not all of us get that, oh, when I'm changing, when I'm transforming or I'm evolving, you innately know that and you thrive through it. So one of the things that your soul is saying, and they're laughing kind of with a snarky laugh, because they're saying, well, you need to tell her to stand still sometimes. Sometimes she just needs to stand still and see if she can get excited just standing still. Have you ever had a meditation practice?
No, because I can barely.
Of course not. Of course not. That does not surprise any listener out here now. Already knowing what we know, they're like, of course she doesn't. Yeah. And guess what? That makes everybody else feel good out there because meditation is, a whole new gateway to finding inspiration from the inside out. But okay, back to you not having a meditation practice.
I don't meditate. I have a hard time. And I also have a hard time, like you said, staying still. Like I want to plan something every single day. I'm always wanting to go out and do something. I don't like wasted time. I don't like any of that. So oftentimes I feel like it's just a constant, booking this, doing that, hearing there. So sometimes I feel like a little disconnected with myself in those times because I often don't even allow myself the break to even, how do I feel about this? Or let me reflect on this, just because it's just a constant stimulation. And especially living in New York, especially my job and the way that I plan my life. So sometimes I have to fully be like, take a step back, relax, think about something, and you don't have to be consuming something or watching something, just think. And that is often really challenging and hard for me to do, which is funny to say, but it's hard for me to take that time.
Yeah, because you live in New York. Here's one of the ways that you can meditate. And this is not going to be your typical meditation definition or practice. But one of the ways you can meditate is, when you are walking from home to go exercise or home to your tailor, where, and hopping on the subway or wherever you're going, do not put your earbuds in. Do not listen to a podcast. Nothing. Take the earbuds out, put your phone in your satchel, whatever, and literally just engage with the sights and the sounds. Smell the air, whatever the air smells like. Listen to the horns honking. Look around you. Look up. Look down. Engage, make eye contact with people, and you can do it for 2 blocks. You don't have to do it the whole way, but literally, intentionally, in very small chunks, turn everything off in your ears and then open your ears to what is around you and use that with your eyes open. There's something called eyes open meditation that I've practiced on and off for years, and it would be literal me sitting still, and you actually might really like this. I will meditate sometimes with my eyes open, and this is not a 20-minute deal. I can do it for 4 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever I feel like, but I will almost fix my eyes, my gaze at a 45-degree angle down. And you remember those seeing eye pictures where the Statue of Liberty would appear or whatever? Yeah. Okay, so you just kind of stare at your rug or the carpet or whatever is in front of you, and you can turn some meditation music on and just allow your eyes to just keep staring. And when you notice your eyes, you can blink, but when you notice your eyes glancing at other things, come back to that point and just keep coming back, and it will help you quiet your mind and the inside, and it'll help you create this greater sense of peace. And that's what they keep talking about. For as abundant as you are and dynamic as you are, your soul is saying she wants to know what peace feels like, and peace doesn't have to feel busy or engaged. It can, and not detached either. Right. It can feel like this deep peace that passes all understanding, that kind of peace. And it doesn't mean you just live in it, just like the high highs or low lows, but you can access it. And you can also do your eye open meditation, out in the park, go to Central Park, sit on a bench. And, you might look a little silly if you look like you're just staring into something.
Nothing's silly in New York at this point.
Exactly. It's not. So stare up at the trees. Open, listen to the children playing. Listen, to the horns honking, the children playing, the sirens going. But open your ears and open your eyes and watch the trees move, and literally 2 minutes. But see if you can start incorporating that, because you have some new, like these deep desires coming up, and you've come out of a couple of years. The last 3 years have been intense. They're telling me you've gone through a lot of shifts. You've made a lot of bold decisions and changes, I mean, that have really shaken you to your core at times. Personally, in personal relationships, you have been through it, and I can see it. And they're talking about personal relationships, and I'm assuming, and they're going really, like they're saying love, like you have really been through. Let's call it the ringer. They just said it. They're wringing out a rag, and they're saying it's where you've almost even had times where you've said lost your hope and faith in love and even people, and you can get disillusioned by people, which means humanity, because you're back to you being a humanitarian, like, shoot, are there really people? Is there someone who's going to get me? They're talking about love, and they're talking about a lot of pain and distress in your like love life that you're on the other side of it, but it's been challenging.
Hey there, ever caught yourself dreaming about the perfect luggage for your travels? Yeah, me too. I recently discovered Rome. They make luggage, but with a twist. It's designed by you. Imagine a suitcase that truly matches your style, made with top-notch materials and craftsmanship. And here's the best part. You get to try it for a whopping 100 days with a lifetime warranty to boot. All this, and it's assembled right here in the U.S. So, next time you're planning an adventure, remember to check out RomeLuggage.com and use code JOURNEY50 for $50 off your order.
He'll forget about the video game you gave him on his birthday.
Wow! Thanks, Grandpa!
But he'll never forget how you invested in his future with the UNest app.
Wow. Thanks, Grandpa.
Don't just give them any gift. Give them a gift that can grow with them. Invite grandparents and family friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNest app. UNest is an investment account for kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, their first home, and more, just by sharing a link. Or include a UNest QR code on party invitations for birthdays and holidays. For a limited time, download the UNest app and use the code iHeart50 at sign-up to receive a $50 bonus when you fund your account. That's code iHeart50 when you sign up at unest.co for a $50 bonus. See terms and conditions at unest.co.
CuriosityStream is the streaming service built by and for people who want to know more about our world and beyond. CuriosityStream has the best collection of documentary films and TV shows about everything from the history of human migration to the future of space travel. With thousands of titles, Curiosity has something for everyone. Science, wildlife, travel, human stories, culture, and pretty much anything you're curious about. Watch CuriosityStream on your TV or any digital device all around the world. Just go to curiositystream.com to sign up or download the app now. You'll have access to brand new titles dropping every week, filled with new discoveries and new stories that'll open your eyes to the world around us. And with monthly, annual, and bundled pricing plans, it's easy to find one that works for you and your budget. Go to curiositystream.com to satisfy your curiosity and sign up today.
They're talking about a lot of pain and distress in your like love life that you're on the other side of it, but it's been challenging.
And in fact, I sometimes kind of feel like I'm still in it. Like I was in a really intense long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Ended like a little after the pandemic, 2021. So you're right within that time.
Yeah.
And it's just been interesting trying to date since. I've recently come to terms with the fact like, okay, I think I'm finally ready for a relationship and working through those feelings and like ready to like meet someone. Cause before I was like very non-committal like a couple months ago, I was very non-committal.
Before, I know.
My past life, literally like to meet.
Yeah.
But I've just recently, had the idea of like, okay, I think I'm actually ready for something. But now that I'm dating kind of with these new eyes and this new strategy, I feel like a lot of the men that I'm meeting are oh, this is going to sound so mean, but I've just been a little unimpressed by,
Listen, we already know that you're snarky and quick, and I'm like, it's a very kindred spirit to me. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead. We got it. No one is judging.
Yeah, I feel unimpressed by them. I just feel like there's a huge lack of like emotional compatibility, intellectual compatibility.
Well, and intellectual compatibility is huge for you.
Huge.
You want someone who challenges you, and the emotional piece is them being able to have real, intense, unique conversations that are genuine. And you feel like you're meeting superficial people these days. Like, it's like I can only scratch the surface, and oh my gosh, they're so boring.
They're so boring. I am bored by all of them. I am so bored.
I know. And guess what? They just said that this year, I'm not sure you're going to meet your person this year, but your person is out there, and don't you worry about it, because he is unique. And they just said this year, it's about going out and interacting. It is about when you get bored, knowing you don't have to do it again and not feeling guilty or sad or mad or aggravated, just being like, I went out, I engaged, and I don't have to go back out, and I don't have to be unkind. I can say thanks so much and leave it at that, and there doesn't have to be deeper meaning behind it. Sometimes with that, it is about, what did I learn from this? What is this showing me about myself? For you, it's more about being able to recognize whether you enjoy yourself, whether you feel inspired and connected, or if you are bored out of your mind, and then being able to say thanks for your time, and then go about your day and do something else without feeling down, guilty, frustrated. And that's where they want you to process fast. And you're very resilient. So noticing, that was disappointing. We'll feel the disappointment. And that's where I want you to just inhale and exhale the disappointment and say, you know what, though? It was not in vain. It's all part of some divine plan, some bigger plan. God, I'm putting myself out there. And you know what? I'm taking a cap off of the timeline. So almost, because you, like you said, as far as I feel like I'm still in it, it's like you're leveling up in terms of the energy you want to attract, the person, and you haven't quite reached the next level yet. And it's coming. And when you hit that new level, you will attract new experiences and people into your life. You're not quite there yet. It's like you're mountain climbing.
Yeah,
and
I feel like I'm building momentum. Yeah.
Yes. And so they're saying, don't be discouraged by the fallout or what doesn't work out. Be able to just chalk it up for, it didn't work out, but that's not going to deter me, and I'm going to go about my day. So your person is coming. I actually think you're going to meet someone. Next year is a huge year for you professionally and personally. And I think you move next year. I'm not necessarily saying you move out of New York. I think you're going to be in New York for a little bit, but I think you move next year. It may be closer to the fall of next year, but you move. But you also, I feel like, meet somebody, and you may meet somebody in the spring. It may be a little bit later than that, but they're saying, give yourself
so I got some time.
I know, you have time. And I'm not saying that you won't go out on 2, 3, 8 dates with someone and then see all the red flags and say, you know what? And again, another opportunity for resilience of saying the 8 dates weren't in vain, and this is not lost. And what am I learning? But how can I learn quicker and trust even deeper? It's about trust this year. So you do have some time before somebody comes along who clicks, like who really gets you and sees you and challenges you.
Yeah.
And also somebody who has flexibility. You really want somebody who is able to work and travel. You also want someone who, this is going back to your family, and for as individual as you are and how much you enjoy your space, your individuality, you're very connected to your family, and you want someone who is able to meet your family and really, I'm not going to say not judge, but just be accepting and loving, and that it makes sense. And in your last relationship, I don't know how to explain it. Well, they're showing me, what they're showing me is like in your last relationship, it felt like you were always, not always, but a lot of the times maybe making excuses for or having to sell or promote him to your family because your family could see through it and you knew they could see through it, but you were like, no, it's going to be better. Or no, he was just busy for this. Or no, we couldn't do that. Like they're saying, you want somebody where they just click.
Yeah.
It just works. And you're not having to put on the sales hat or make excuses for or promote them. You want somebody that your family just says, gosh, he's so much fun. Or, oh, he called because he said you were having a tough week, so we sent you flowers.
Yeah.
Somebody who just takes initiative with your family that feels comfortable without you feeling like you have to do the heavy lifting.
This entire thing has been so spot on. It's like scary. This is really wild. I am so close to my family, and I want someone who wants to be there, where I'm not don't feel like I'm having to drag them, or we can only stay a few nights. It's like my family's still, in Georgia, they're spread across the South, that like I want to be able to visit them, and I want someone who's going to want to do that. Because on the alternative side, I'm so excited to join someone else's family that wants me to be there.
Yes, you are.
Be there.
You want both, and then that's the thing is you want your life, your partnership, your relationship, your space with that person, and you want to be able to hop on a plane and go home and see family and travel or do the same with their family. Family values are very important to you, but also having your time, your life, and your individuality. So that goes back to that balance. But it's funny that the example you gave was very clear, and what they were showing me is we can only go for a few nights because they've got this, and it's like I don't want to feel trapped with my family when I want to share my family and share that time. And family is family. We all have dynamics, and we get to learn to set boundaries and spend quality time. And then we know when that time expires, and that's a learning process for all of us. But it felt like in your last relationship, it was a lot of work around you felt guilty. Guilt is one of the things that kept coming up of when I go spend time with my family, I'm always, taking care of this other person or paying attention to their emotions or their needs and their own insecurities. And they're very selfish and self-centered too. Not that your last relationship, not that the qualities weren't there and you fell in love and were attracted to that person for a reason. You were in a growth spurt, so was he. But what you were learning is I am not responsible for this other person's growth. I'm responsible for me. And then I get to meet somebody. And it just took you a long time to learn it because
it did.
We're human.
And I think what I'm really looking for now, it's so interesting you say that, is I feel like I spent so many years of that relationship really taking care of him. And I love doing that. It's like I'm such an independent person, and I always have been, that now in my relationship, I'm really looking forward, and I didn't realize I was, but I'm really looking forward of being taken care of. I want someone to get my coffee order right, to bring me, surprise me with flowers, to want to come to my family's house. It's like I actually am in that stage where I am excited to soften with someone else, because as you described, it's like I'm always on the go. I'm always doing a million things, like a million miles a minute, so many ideas that like I can't wait to just rest and relax with someone who's taking care of me. And
that's why I'm encouraging you right now to, air quotes, meditate, meaning in creative ways. Yes. That's an easy, palpable way for you. It's very palatable for me to say creative ways, meaning just for 2 or 3 minutes from point A to point B, take the, earbuds out, meditate in a very creative way. Or when you get home and you have a moment before you pick up your phone or start making dinner, whatever you're doing, just sit down with your cat, because I know your cat is there. Sit down with your cat, sit down with him, and literally eyes open, pet him. And for me, an easy way to do it, and this is accessible for anybody out there, is I'll pick 2 or 3 songs, and they can be like meditation tracks or just very soothing, tranquil songs. And I'll pick 2 or 3, and I know that they're about 7 minutes or 9 minutes. And I will say, I'm going to sit here, and when stuff is flying through your mind, and it's like squirrel, squirrel, just say, nope, squirrel's in a minute. Come back to the cat. Come back to the cat. And that'll soothe you. Just back to the cat. Back to the, what's your cat's name, by the way?
Pretty Boy. And he is
okay,
so
pretty boy.
He's so pretty.
He knows it. Yeah,
he knows it.
Yeah, he knows it. And cats are super intuitive. But petting him, and when he wants to snuggle or love on you, and even when you're going to bed at night, after you've made your list and you're doing 10 things and, you know, you've done your face care routine. They're showing me your routines. You have like, you love all of your, like your face care. I do too. Is that you're laughing?
Oh my God. Skincare. Oh my
skincare.
Everything's laid out.
Everything. I know. I have like my LED light for my face and my, you know, all the stuff. I know that you do too. They're showing me that. It's like you like your personal habits and your personal time. Doing all of that. And then once you do, and once you turn that light out, literally, I want you, and this is kind of metaphysical, kind of quantum, but these are little small things that are accessible. I want you to lie down and literally palms up, kind of just like you're lying down on a massage table. You're in your bed with your sheets, palms up, and just scan from the tip of your toes all the way to the crown of your head like you're a CAT scan machine. Because you're so intellectual and analytical, think like a laser. A laser is literally scanning from the tips of the toes, and be slow about it, just like a cat, like moving into a CAT scan. And just scan it, and you don't have to be looking for anything, but just think, I am moving this energy, I am clearing my energy field, and then your palms are up, which is in a state of receptivity, because you give and go and do. This is a year of how can I receive and feel, again, right-sized, eating exactly enough and not too much, just balanced. And just scan and say, I'm just balancing out for the night before I relax into my body to recharge and rejuvenate my energy field. And again, these are things you don't have to do every day, or you don't have to practice this every night, but create little pockets of time just to be very quiet, not pick up the phone, not listen to a podcast or watch something on, Netflix, whatever it is. Just take a few moments, 2 minutes, and be very still or silent intentionally, and see if that starts to bring new clarity for you. And in that, I want to talk about work for a minute.
Ooh.
One of the big things your soul is reflecting back is keep going, but I want you to pay attention in, like, let's say the next 2 months. And the next 2 months are intense. Like, the energy is intense for all of us right now. It's a big time of revision and reflection. So this is for anybody out there. But I want you specifically to pay attention to your interviews and interactions, and the ones you walk away from feeling like, oh my gosh, I just learned so much. Wow, that was brilliant. Wow, that dialogue was so freaking enriching. Or, man, that person is multifaceted. And then on the flip side of that, on the converse side, I want you to notice when somebody is being inauthentic, when they're just giving you what they think you want, when it's surface level, they're on to the next and not really interested in talking to you, feeling like it's obligatory. And don't take offense by any of this. Just notice, you know what? That wasn't engaging in the kind of way that's meaningful to me. And it's not that you don't do it or do it well, and it's not that it's not part of your job, but notice that. So when you have an interaction that is enriching and synergistic, which is what came through in the beginning, like, inhale and exhale it, feel it, know it, honor it, say, wow, thank you, this is what I'm here for. And when you have the dialogues that really are just like the interactions on going out on dates, when it feels surface level, it's boring. When you have a conversation and you interview somebody or you're creating content and it's boring, and I don't mean you say this publicly, but in your heart, be like, that was boring. And it's not anything about that person. It's just, I've outgrown this. This is not what I'm available for. And just notice, because this is not what I'm available for. I am no longer available for this. And it doesn't mean that you won't have boring interactions. I mean, we're human. But this is all to get you up onto that next platform energetically. The more you notice the synergy and you compliment it and you're appreciative of it and you let it run through your body, you reflect. And that's you pausing, not going straight onto social media to do something or checking your phone. Like, step back and just assess for 30 seconds, the quality of the interaction, and again, take the person out of it and say, whoa, this is how this felt. This goes back to not having the emotional whiplash, taking your emotional intelligence and harnessing it. So you're saying, universe, I'm available for that. That's what I want to do professionally, personally. This is my humanitarian aim.
Ooh, so
and then
almost
when
like
the
streamlining too, of like a new way to just see what I'm doing.
Yes. This year and next year, again, this year, there's a lot going on for you. Next year, it's more streamlining, but I want you to start practicing streamlining energetically and emotionally now. And hence also 2 minutes to meditate, or when you go to bed at night after your skincare, your routines, just scan your body like you're a CAT scan, literally just this intelligent scan of the body, and breathe and feel, and then relax into your bed. Just be very intentional in short bouts of time right after the fact, and then move on to the next thing. And that way it'll pull your energy back, it'll focus you, and you're going to have the rest of this year, it's right place, right time energy. You have a little bit of positive, wonderful karma in your energy field that says, when I trust, when I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, if it's challenging or beautiful, when I really trust and I say, what can I learn for this, or how can I express gratitude? Boom, you get a windfall somewhere else. A new door opens. Someone calls you. So really slowing down so you can pay attention and build this deeper trust in the divine orchestration of the universe that is hard to even conceptualize, but I know that you believe in, because you're more of a seeker and searcher. You're just dipping your toe in the water. And I think you would love learning about your natal astrology, your numerology. Those kinds of things would freaking light your fire.
Oh my gosh. What's funny is I just started seeing angel numbers. Like I've just been like dipping into that, where I've never been a numbers person, but I really wanted that. And so I've kind of been looking out for that too, which has been nice, like the numerology element.
Yes. Well, numerology is my jam. It's when I started really recognizing that I understood energies and frequencies. It was through numbers. And I just immediately, I would see numbers as codes. And I'm not a mathematician. It wasn't about math. It was about seeing repetition of numbers or codes or sequences, and then understanding the frequencies. So when you see angel numbers, when you see repeating numbers out there, master numbers, 1111, 222, whatever shows up, literally just step back and say, okay, how do I feel in this moment? And I want you to go to your feelings, because your thoughts are what's so active. I want you to pause and say, well, how do I feel? And you may literally say, I don't know how I feel. And that's kind of jarring too, to say, I'm either numb, I don't know how I feel right now, or I'm really hacked off right now, or I'm just okay right now. Whatever it is, be really rigorously honest with how you feel in the moment and process it. So if it is if you feel silly and lighthearted, inhale and exhale that. If you feel heavy and exhausted, inhale and exhale that. Honor whatever emotion comes up, because it's just going to clarify your inner life, which will create this outer enrichment. You do have a loved one coming through, by the way, and she showed up a little bit ago. And I thought it was a grandmother, but I actually think I don't know if you had a great aunt or a neighbor or like a friend's mother. I don't know who it is, but it's a female, and I don't necessarily think she was particularly close to you, but she is coming through. Do you have any friends, mothers who died when you were in junior high or high school?
You know what? No, I don't think so.
Okay. But there's a woman coming through who does not feel related to you, who is deceased on the other side, and she's not particularly old, and it feels like somebody you know's mother. And she's aggravated with me that I can't get a little bit better in the details of it. So I'm like, okay, hold on, give me more.
I know.
And I'm like, does somebody have breast cancer or ovarian cancer who died? Because she just said it's a female cancer she died from.
One of my close friends from college, her mom passed away when she was really young, so I never met her.
Do you know how she died? Did she have cancer?
I think it was breast cancer.
Okay, that's who it is. Because I'm like, whoever it is, she's like, I just need her to deliver a message. So, okay, so this is one of your actual, like, your good friends from college. So some of the, like,
Yes.
women you're referring
Yes,
to.
but I've never met her mom.
Of course. Okay.
Younger, yeah.
Okay. She is coming through. She is just, this is a message for your friend. Like, I mean, she's just like, I'm taking this opportunity to come through. And because I was like, I don't think she's related to you. It's like removed. Okay. She is saying she wants you to know, to tell your friend. She says that to not be discouraged, that she is right where she's supposed to be in life, and that she's been feeling really discouraged lately in some areas of her life, that things are not coming together, things are not solidifying, and she sometimes feels like she's alone. She has friends. It's not that she is alone, but sometimes she feels like she carries the weight of the world on her shoulders. I mean, is this your friend that she's talking, like it's her mother?
I think so, which is wow. This is actually blowing my mind. My friend is actually on vacation right now, but I'm seeing her this weekend. We're going on a trip together this weekend.
Okay, just tell her mother wants to know, first of all, she loves her very much. And she says she's not alone. Aww. She's so grateful that she has you as a friend. Okay, she says, she says, you all will be friends for life through the highs and the lows. And she says, and I have goosebumps right now because she says, I want to be with her. She has milestones in her life and times where I have been with her, but I am sorry I can't physically be there. And she says she needs to know how much she is loved and supported by me. And even though it's not in literal traditional me there to support her ways, she says, I rarely leave her side. And she's laughing. She just made a joke. So her mom must have been funny. She says, not in the creepy way, Amanda. And I was like, no, I know it's like, sometimes we're like, are they in the shower with us? But they just mean their essence is there, even when we think the weight of the world is on our shoulders. And sometimes she feels like, your friend feels like she just carries a lot for the other people. And that life is a series of challenges, and not that she is not innovative or capable, but it's like she gets very tired and she doesn't share that with a lot of people. And her mom is saying you are not alone, and for you as her friend to love her and not judge her no matter what. I mean, we all go through phases, and you love her like that. And she said she's so glad she has you. So her mother is also thanking you for being such a devoted, fierce friend, because you are, and you see the best in her even when she doesn't see the best in herself. That's the kind of friendship the two of you have. And she says, that streak goes both ways for you too.
My gosh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Every now and then, like it's rare, but every now and then a spirit will come through that is a message for somebody totally, like just someone else. But usually when they do, because it's unusual, but usually when they do, it's because you need to hear the message as much as she does, and also because they respect and trust you, the person that's receiving the message, enough to intentionally share it and to be able to communicate the message in the way your friend's going to need to hear it. They're very trusted, and that means that she respects you. Her mom respects you very much as a woman, as a friend, and as a person. So it's a compliment for her to come through. And she felt safe to come through and share a message.
Wow, so, that's so powerful. Wow.
And so we did just derail from you, but
I think it goes back to what I was saying, though. It's like friends are so important to me. I don't take that lightly, especially because I've only ever been, like I mentioned, that one relationship that I've almost treated my friends as like, I give them my time, my energy, my love. Like that's like so important to me to have those.
Do you have any questions or anything before we wrap up? I know we've covered a lot of territory.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for your time.
So much. I feel like I have so much to think about.
I know. It's like a download of information. There's a
Right.
ton of stuff
I want to like
through.
reflect on all of this because I do think it's wild how well you were able to pinpoint my personality and the little quirks and I mean, in interesting moments. I think that's really, I mean, you have such a gift and such a talent. That's really so wild.
Thank you.
This was our first time meeting. So the fact
Yes,
you
it
knew all
was.
of
And
that,
I know. Well, and that's just the way it rolls. I mean, most of the time I read for people who I've never met. I don't know anything but their name and their date of birth. And the reason I ask for for anybody's birthday is numbers help me connect with energy. I mean, I know you're a Gemini, but it's not to do with that. I just look at your birthday and it's like a code for me. And all of a sudden I start to read into the energy of the code, and then the rest just opens up like a portal of information flowing.
Wow.
So,
well, I am truly amazed, and thank you so much for having me and letting me do this. This was really, really so helpful and insightful for me, and I can't wait to meet back here 1 year from now. And I'm like, listen up.
I know, I can't wait. I'm excited for you because it is a beautiful phase, and you're out of some emotional, personal muckiness. You're coming out of that into this evolved version of you that is more aligned with yourself and your soul than you've probably ever been in this lifetime.
Yes, I completely
thus
agree
far.
with that. And that's why I'm excited. I'm like, wow, this is how I feel now. I can't wait to like continue on the journey and see where it takes me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Emily, thank you for being so open and also vulnerable and coming on and sharing who you are. I know so many people will relate, especially in learning how to slow down to meditate as busy thinkers. That's so relatable for a lot of people, but also in being able to be okay feeling a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit scattered and not exactly needing to know the path, but starting to trust the inner path. That's wisdom for all of us, but it's also very, very personal to your story right now. So yeah, I'm excited for the direction you're going. Thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, Soul Sessions, I hope you're enjoying the podcast and the guests that we've had on. We have some exciting content and exciting people coming up, new tools. We are going to dive into astrology, which I think will be a great tool. So it'll be good for novices to astrology and people who already have some familiarity in that area. So we've got some good tangible areas that we will explore in the next month or so. Take care and keep searching. Bye.
Ready to take your travel style to a whole new level? With Roam, it's all about personalizing your journey. You get to choose the colors of your bag, from the shells to the zippers to the lining and more. And our expert team of hand craftsmen build it for you. With our 100-day free trial and lifetime warranty, it's a no-brainer. Visit RoamLuggage.com today and use code JOURNEY50 for $50 off. And here's a bonus. When you buy 2 or more bags, you'll automatically enjoy a 10% discount. No code needed. Start your design today at RoamLuggage.com.
When it comes to family vacations, there are a million different trips you can take. You can get your own trip to Texas. Or if you prefer a vacation from your family, you can always get your own leave the kids with grandma trip to Texas. So go to traveltexas.com/get your own for the only trip to Texas that matters. Yours.